On today's show, I am joined by three diehard card-carrying Raccoon Squad members, MFFLs right now, Patrick, Matthew, and Mr. Crow himself, Nick. We will break down the Dallas Mavericks win over the Cleveland Cavaliers, talk about why it's great, and we have to talk about it. And I have to talk about it with some real MFFLs. Mavrello, what's the deal with it? We'll get into it on today's Locked On Mavs.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Luka and this is Locked On Mavericks Podcast.
Hey, Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me, like I said at the beginning of the show, three bona fide MFFLs, Raccoon Squad card-carrying members. Welcome, Patrick, Matthew, and Nick. What you guys got for me?
What's up? Let's go, Matt.
Let's go.
What up? All right, let's get into it. We'll on today's show, we will break down the Dallas Mavericks win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They went in, they took care of business, 110-90. Luka only had to play the first three quarters, which is that's what we all want, right? Like we're all just wanting that. 23 minutes for Luka. Is that his season low? I'm actually gonna have to look that up right now as I'm talking. But Luka Doncic, 23 minutes in this game, and the Mavericks just defense, I think, really played well in this game. Or was it the Cavs offense? The Cavs offense is really bad. Patrick, is it just the Cavs offense is really bad, or did the Mavs defense actually do something in this game?
Well, to start off, I only knew two of the Cavs starters, Colin Sexton and
yeah, can we? Who is Dean Wade? Right? Like, how did the Cavs get another D Wade? Who is Thomas? What was his name? I do this for a living, and Broderick Thomas. I didn't know. Jeremiah Martin. I didn't know. Yeah. I knew, obviously, I think I knew the rest of the starters besides Dean Wade. And I've heard Dean Wade's name before in just the sense that it was a Twitter joke that he's the new D Wade, right? Like, that's the only time I've heard of him, Patrick.
Yeah, one of the most well-known Cavs was probably Varejao for me.
No, right? Okay, the Varejao thing is so strange because I thought it was just a ceremonial signing, right? They give him a 10-day, he comes back, he retires as a Cav, and then all of a sudden in the third quarter, I just see him on the bench, and I was like, that hair is indistinguishable. That is Anderson Varejao, right? Like, it has to be. And then he actually plays in this game. Matthew, how surprised were you to see Anderson Varejao actually play in this game?
He's got the ultimate dad bod, like 55. I swear, like, there's no way he has not celebrated the big 4-0 or even 5-0. There's not much to say about the Cleveland Cavs right now. If he's playing any minutes for you, what a turnaround from 2016. I mean, my goodness.
He's 38 years old, by the way. And I saw a story, an ESPN story, that he came back, and the first time he played was the first time he played actually in front of his daughter. And so, yeah, dad bod is a great way to put it because he literally is a dad.
He's 38, like Jason Tatum is 19.
He's still 19, still 38. Yeah. So the Cavaliers, I mean, Fiondo Kabengele is a guy I knew that the Clippers drafted, but I don't know if I knew he was on the Cavs. Isaiah Hartenstein I knew was on the Cavs, but it's still kind of one of those things where you go, oh, dang, who is that guy when you first see him on the court? And then, yeah, just Damian Dotson is on the Cavs. Who knew that? Just their whole bench basically was guys that you're like either didn't know who they were or didn't know they were on the Cavs. I don't know. I'm not gonna lose too much sleep over watching Cavs games. Nick, what did you feel about this win? Because a lot of Mavs fans before this were like, oh, they're gonna screw this up. They're gonna lose. They always lose to the teams they shouldn't lose to. How did you feel going into this game?
Well, that's been the storyline all year, right? They play down to their opponent. They play up to their opponent. In my comment to you, I was just saying they played just as well as yesterday, but against a weaker opponent. And, when you can play those kind of games and get those minutes in for the young guys and getting into the playoffs, like you just said, Luka getting some rest is really nice when we can perform like this against an opponent like this. And, what can happen the next game we play them? We can get more guys in, a little more rest, and hopefully hit the end of the year on a nice stride and going into the playoffs.
Yeah, Matt noticed this before we hit record. The Mavericks have not lost a game to a team other than Sacramento since April 16th. That just seems like that's a crazy stat. The Mavericks have two losses, and then what? What are they now? 3, 6, 9. They're 9-2, and go ahead.
It's the 3 against Sacramento. We got swept by Sacramento, and then we're 12-3 since then, or whatever. 9-3, something just stupid.
This is personal for me, just to be on the Kings 1 second. My fiance is a Kings fan, and I can't hear enough of it. This is ridiculous how I have to live in this house as a Mavericks fan this year. And even going back to last year, how the Kings somehow beat us. So I'm sorry to make it about me for a second, but I'm living in hell right now. So
yeah, the house.
Just tell her, see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, the house divided thing always is tough to deal with. Does she bring up the Kings record against Luka? Because I know Matt George, Locked On Kings host, always he messages me that all the time on either Twitter DMs or in our Slack for Locked On, all that.
Well, she said the most disrespectful thing to me tonight. She said, "How did Buddy Hield better than Luka Doncic?" And I had to stop her right there and be like, "What are you even talking about right now?" So
did you answer with "at what"?
So that's the kind of life I'm living right now. So I'm just happy that the Mavs can beat the Cavs, and at least we can play against a team like that and come out and show our true talent and show actually what we can do. So
listen, it'll be over in 9 days. It'll be over in 9 days, and then they'll have the actual playoffs.
She's in the other room watching the Spurs game and the Kings game, so she still believes. She still believes.
Dang! Shout out to couples that watch games together, because my wife just does not care at all about the NBA, which is it's fine. We have other things in common. All right, let's get to some of the guys that actually stood out to us in this game, and then we'll have some fun a little bit later. So Luka, we kind of always have to start with him. 1 assist in this game. It just came so easy to him in all the other different ways, and he didn't really have to do a whole lot in this game. It felt like, Patrick, do you think that Luka even broke a sweat in this game? Because it just didn't seem like it. Yeah, they mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast he was gliding all over the place. He just barely even broke a sweat in this one.
Yeah, to me, what would be more surprising, Luka with 20 assists or Luka with 1 assist? I would probably say the 1 assist, because this game is just so natural. It's just crazy to watch, really.
What more can you say about him? I talk every single day about Luka, and you can just continue to say more and more about him. He in games like this, though, he tries to experiment a little bit. This is where he's been getting in the mid-range shots, the turnaround pull-ups, all that kind of stuff. And he did that a little bit in this game, and it was just great to see. It's great to see those little mid-range shots, the pull-ups, all that. Tim Hardaway Jr., another great game in this one, 20 points as a starter. Matthew, where are you at with Tim Hardaway starting? Because it seems like this is gaining some momentum now where we think Tim Hardaway should be a starter.
So I remember the first game he came off the bench was in Houston earlier this year. It was the one time we beat Houston this year. And I put out a poll post-game and said, should he come off the bench? Because he got 30 points. He had 8 threes, one of those games, right? And 70-something% of people said, yeah, keep him coming off the bench. And then he played really well for a while, had a bit of a slump, and he's started recently due to a lot of injuries, a lot of just weird rotations. And I actually grew up a Michigan fan, watching Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. every game. I watched them for 2-3 years together, and his streakiness is not new. This goes back to his Michigan days, and I in the back of my mind, I knew he would get out of this. I didn't know if it would take him starting or if he would just naturally ease out of it, but I knew this was in him. I didn't know, 42 points one night, 35 another night. I didn't know that was in him, but I never lost faith that he would be a consistent, solid 20 point per game when you need it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when Porzingis comes back, when Maxey comes back. Do they continue to play the Maxey Porzingis starting lineup? They probably have to, but then that means that one of Richardson, Hardaway, and Dorian has to go to the bench. Nick, if they bring back Maxey and KP, which one of those three would you rather see go to the bench? Tim Hardaway, Dorian, or Richardson?
I think we need to remember what Rick Carlisle says. It's fluid. Don't get stuck in one way. Let's just go with the flow. Let's see who we're playing. Let's see what's working. He does the eye test, I think, better than anybody else. So we need to make sure that we don't get set in who's starting. I think the more important, fact is who's ending the game. But, Willie's been doing great starting. I'm okay with him sitting, So I think we just need to make sure that we stay fluid. Everyone put that in their mindset.
Yeah, even though after that game, when Carlisle said the lineup's fluid, Josh Richardson said, I don't know if anything's fluid. I haven't been told that anything about the lineup is fluid. Coming up, we'll get into Josh Richardson a little bit, talk about the dynamic between him and Josh Green. We have to talk about Josh Green. Another pretty solid performance, I thought, in this one. Just bringing that hustle. Actually he almost hit a 4-point play. He hit the 3 that everyone was really surprised he hit, but then he missed the free throw. We'll talk about Josh Green. We'll talk about Josh Richardson a little bit later. Talk about all that coming up. But before we do, BetOnline.ag is your one-stop shop to put down some money on sports. Baseball season is in full swing right now. The Reds just finished a no-hitter, my Cincinnati Reds. Shout out. All kinds of stuff on BetOnline. Get all the latest news, odds, and info for your sporting needs, including baseball, NBA, NHL going into their postseason. What's going on with the Canadian postseason in the NHL? Who knows what's going on there? Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. This is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for their runs into the playoffs. These are the games right now that you can catch some of them where you can go, all right, I know this team is not trying to win. And then boom, you can bet the money line or whatever, put some money down and actually win out with some of these. Head to the website, use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus to your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. All right, Raccoon Squad members, card-carrying MFFLs. Let's get into some more about this game. Josh Green, man. How we love Josh Green so much as a fan base, I feel like, right? Like every MFFL, every Mavs fan loves Josh Green so much because he just brings that energy, and everybody's been asking for him to get some minutes. Patrick, what have you seen from Josh Green, and why are you just so excited to see Josh Green get? He played 25 minutes in this one, 6 points. He was plus 12, 5 boards in the game, and then he hit that 3 that should have been a 4-point play.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's instant hustle. I mean, all of the stuff he brings, he doesn't even need to score really, but I think by him coming in, he automatically lifts up the speed of the pace of the offense, increases the tenacity on the defense, increases. It just seems every time he comes in, the action picks up, and so much fun to watch.
There's like a little bit of a tiny bit of like Lonzo in his game, in the sense that he pushes that pace, like you said, and he's a really, really good passer, and he's probably the Mavs' second best passer on the team right now. I don't know if everybody agrees with that on this, but yeah, he just brings a different dynamic. And I think it was Austin Garuya, friend of the show, who said on Twitter, like, giving Josh Green minutes was the best thing for Josh Richardson because it just lit a fire under him. Like, hey, there is actually some guys that might take some minutes for you. Matt, what have you seen between the dynamic of Josh Green, and then we'll transition a little bit into Josh Richardson and that sort of like, hey, there's a rookie coming for your spot right now?
I want to start off by saying that the only way I could love Josh Green more is if he talked like Josh Lloyd or Kane Pittman. But, I think there's definitely some truth to the fact. I mean, look no further than the Heat game, right? Like a rookie comes in and he steals your minutes in the second half, and he was visibly upset. Maybe not upset, but he was shaken.
He took it. Yeah, he was not necessarily in his feelings about it, but he was definitely thinking about it. He was introspective, it felt like.
And I think Josh Richardson is a competitor. Like, if you look at how he got his minutes at Tennessee, how he got to where he did with the Heat, he is a competitor. He's going to give it all he's got. And maybe, with COVID and just a weird year, and he's bouncing around all of a sudden. This is his third team in 3 years. Maybe he kind of got into a funk, and he needed something to kind of like remind him, hey, basketball is like, this takes all your energy. This is your number one focus right now, especially as we're going into the playoffs. And maybe that Josh Green, taking his minutes can be that thing to kind of hone him in, focus just on basketball, and kind of, revitalize him to what we thought he could be in the preseason when he was hitting 9 threes a game or whatever.
I think that was like a ridiculous expectation to keep him to, right? Even that he would just come in and be a good 3-point shooter, because he just hasn't proven that in his career, and it doesn't seem like he's going to. He was 2 of 4 in this game, hit 2 threes. His shot is just so like unconventional and just kind of different, and it's really hard to tell what's going on with Richardson. But he did have a solid game in this one, 18 points in 28 minutes. He hit 2 threes, like I said, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. He was plus 15. Like, this was a game that they could just kind of hand the ball to him and let him do a couple things here and there and get his confidence back, because they do need him in the playoffs, right? Like, they can't just go in and have a rotation player, potential starter like that, not give them anything like he has been the last couple of weeks. Nick, what's your take on Richardson and then the Josh Green, that whole dynamic right now?
I love it. Competition is what drives professional players to be the best that they can be. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I think Josh is a professional. Both Joshes, are professionals, and both want that position. So I like the dynamic. I have faith in Josh Richardson. I sometimes falter in that faith, but I do.
Hey,
have
we all
it.
do, man.
I
Everybody
do
does.
have it. I was all for, no trades this, season. Let's keep it. I like the dynamic. And yes, maybe he doesn't play, like I said, in that last few minutes of the fourth quarter, but I think he can produce elsewhere and show us what he's got. And I think he has a lot. Josh Green, I love it. The energy, the spark, just like the boost at this point of the season that he came in just to
Perfect.
get this team. Oh, I love it. So I can't get enough of him. I like to see. You said 25 minutes tonight. That's what I like to see.
That's what you want to see.
He's a mini
especially-
Dwight Powell.
He really is, man. Like, there's so many different things that make me think about Dwight Powell and him. He needs to find an elite skill. Maybe it's passing. Like, maybe Dwight Powell's rolling is Josh Green's passing. Like, if you're doing an analogy between the two of them.
Marv Albert sees Dwight Powell and Josh Green. We know that. So.
Marv Albert, man, that guy. Have you guys watched? There's a video on Reddit, and it's Marv Albert calling a play, and the title of it is, it sounds like Marv Albert's. I'll just for the kids, I'll say Marv Albert's doing something with his mouth. While he's calling this play, and he's just making all these mouth sounds while he was calling it. It was just so bad. There's a phone alarm in that TNT game the other day too. Did you guys hear that? That was 100% Marv's phone alarm for something. There's all kinds of strange things in that TNT game the other night.
I don't think Dorian Finney-Smith got his name recognized
I
one
don't
time.
think he
Josh Richardson had a great game.
Yeah, he did. He was scoring in the fourth quarter, and he didn't even play.
The 1 and the 0 and the gold must have been real hard on that man's eyes.
That was so hard. Hey, imagine if Luka, Melly, and Maxey were all playing at the same time. Like, he would just lost it. He would have just been completely confused. I want to keep talking about Josh Green. What do we think is Josh Green's ceiling? What are we expecting from him? Because we're all really excited about him. We're seeing some of the stuff that he's doing. What do we think is like? Where does he end up, Patrick? Like, what's his ceiling for us?
I mean, it's really hard to tell this year. I mean, Summer League, if they can get that started, I mean, it'll be great to watch him, play in that.
See, I don't know if he's going to be a good player in Summer League, right? Like, a lot of times these guys in Summer League, it's the guys that can score, right? It's like your Nate Hittens. Like, Nate Hittens is going to be really good in Summer League. You can just kind of tell, right? But a guy like Josh Green is going to probably struggle. You have to really watch and pay attention to Summer League to see if he's playing well or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the other stuff he brings, like you said, the hustle, like that. I mean, of course, I don't expect him to be a 20-point per game scorer, but I mean, come in, play hard minutes, get stuff going for the team. I mean, that's exactly what we need from him.
Oh, 100%. Matt, what's your take on Josh Green's ceiling?
These are two entirely different players, but I think we're talking about Josh Green's peak, so we're talking 3-4 years down the line. I like to say when, not if, the Mavs are competing for titles. I think he can be what Montrezl Harrell is. Just throw him in there for 10 minutes, because at that time, maybe he's a more solid piece of this rotation. Throw him in there for 10 minutes, and you look around at the other 4 guys, and they just looked like they have more energy, and they look like they are excited to play with him and play for him. And, Obviously, this is always going to be Luka's team, and Josh Green will probably never be a second star. I'm not ready to say that after, 2 good weeks.
Yeah.
But he can be a really solid role player that really, juices up these guys around him that just get him excited to play with him.
Yeah, there is an element. He's probably going to be a much better player after he's been in the league a little while, right? Because there is a little bit of an edge to him. There's a little bit of a bite to his game. And so that kind of stuff and that kind of energy, I feel like you can really feed into if you're a kind of a vet on the team, or if you've been on the team for a little while. You haven't seen it from him yet, because he played 1 year at Arizona. Now he comes in and this is his first season in the NBA. So yeah, it's really interesting. Nick, you have a take on Josh Green and his ceiling and all that?
No, I love Matt is his name. That was a perfect answer. If he can be a Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench, a 6th man of the year, Josh Green, if that's his ceiling, I'm down. I like that.
Yeah, like Matt said, obviously they're different players, right? They're a different skill set entirely, but the style, the type of player, the level of player, I guess.
I would love that. Yeah. I would love that impact on a nightly basis, especially when the game is not going your way and you just need someone to come out and just wreck the, Kenneth Faried style, Montrezl Harrell, just some energy guy. I like that.
Yeah, I think he's a starter eventually. I think that if his 3-ball can go down, that's the big key, right? If his 3-ball doesn't go down, like he's Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Is he that guy next to Luka?
I mean, he's gonna fit in that Dorian role. So I feel like he's gonna be that type of guy if he is gonna get, if that 3-ball is gonna go down. And we're even like concerned about Dorian's 3-point shooting at some points during the season. So I don't know. Josh Green is like that next level. All right, coming up, let's get into a little bit more about this game. That we've talked about this game enough. We got to get into one of the big topics around Mavs Twitter right now, and that's Mavrello. We haven't talked about it much on this podcast, but we have to talk about it. I want to know from 3 MFFLs, what are your opinions on Mavrello? We'll get into that coming up. But before we do, I want to tell you guys about Built Bar. They're absolutely delicious. Have any of you guys on here had a Built Bar?
I have not.
I've had Built Go.
You haven't Built Go? That's crazy.
I've had Built Go before.
Built Go are very interesting. It's Built Go is a thing. I think Built Bar still makes them. But they're it's a protein.
Crazy taking it.
It's a protein gel, but it has caffeine in it as well. It's absolutely wild because it wakes you up and it kind of fills you up too at the same time. But Built Bar, protein bar, it tastes like a candy bar. They're absolutely delicious. The coconut brownie chunk. I sent a review and I said today to Built Bar, and I said, you need more coconut brownie chunk bars, because every time you guys run out of them, people are tweeting at me and sending me messages and telling me, like, in reviews of our show, when are the coconut brownie chunk bars coming back? Everybody wants them. So Built Bar, bring them back. But for now, the mint brownie is absolutely delicious. The raspberry, cherry barcia, the double chocolate. A lot of people like the peanut butter brownie as well. Go check those out. Go to builtbar.com. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your next order using the promo code LOCKED15 at builtbar.com. All right, guys, let's get into the big topic, the one that really matters, right? Like Porzingis' health, Luka's, ascendance into the MVP conversation, the Mavs actually becoming a good team, Dorian's, emergence, Tim Hardaway Jr., where does he fit? All that stuff can go by the wayside because the Mavericks have brought out this new thing, and I don't know what it is. Like, what is this? What form is this going to take? But it's Mavrello. It's the new mascot type cartoon. I'll throw this to Nick first because he's the one that brought it up. Or no, it was Patrick, the one that brought it up. What is Mavrello? What is it?
Mavrello's really grown on me. I mean, I guess ever since the Andre Drummond pipe dream, I've had to stake my flag somewhere else. So Mavrello's the new thing. I don't know. It's the more I look at it, the more that gold tooth looking back at me. That's the rightful owner. Mark Cuban even said so. Oh wait, no, or he said this so. But I mean, it's as long as it's got to be better than Mavs Man, right?
Mavs Man is just a nightmare baked inside of just like anytime I was at the AAC, I would just make sure to check over my shoulder. Like, where is Mavs Man? I need to have eyes on Mavs Man at all times, just so I know that he's, you know what I mean? Matthew, what's your take on Mavrello? What is it? What are the Mavericks doing with it? Is it going to be a physical mascot? Is it just a cartoon they're using in these videos? What is it?
I hope it's not a physical mascot. I'm expecting the worst. I'm sure it will be one day. Like I saw the tweet and it was that, the spork whatever, and it was all dramatic lighting and it said 4/22/2021, and I was like, is this about Earth Day? Like, are they gonna, take the trash off the streets? And then they put trash on my timeline. So
okay. Oh, that was prepared.
That actually wasn't. That was off the dome, I promise.
Okay.
But
All right.
I don't know what to say. It's like, is this for the kids to try to get them entertained? I'm sure they'll make it a physical mascot, and mommy, can we go take a picture with Mavrello? And that's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be like lining up to see Santa Claus, but it's another Mavs man for me.
Is he gonna be a physical mascot? Like
No, CGI virtual. That's the way of the future. It's gonna, go around the stadium, with some lasers or something. However they do it.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm now playing the Mavrello. Like, he's a basketball with a winter hat on. Like Patrick said, he has got the gold tooth. They've been doing these cartoons with him. I mean, it's a nightmare, guys.
He Shawshank Redemption his way out of the reunion arena.
Yeah, he's like what is he? He's like a prospector. Where did he come from? Where did Mavrello come from, Nick?
He was born in 1932.
Where was he birthed?
That is beyond human concept right now. I
know where he's buried.
Yeah, Mark Cuban's got something up inside him that comes up with this idea. This is beyond my recognition. I love it. I'm all for it. I think this is a way to promote just new facets of the team that our owner, the Mark Cuban, he's going to figure out how to use this in a way that we can't even realize right now. So I think it's bigger than just a mascot.
Hold on, I didn't see this one. He talks?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
we got
this weird accent.
He's from Eastern Europe.
All right, we gotta. What is this?
Fans, I'm finally back! For the kids who don't know me, I'm Mavrello Balovic, owner of Mavs. I've been buried under the reunion arena since 1988. I was digging myself out using only concession stand sports. And then it got demolished back in...
Okay, wait, we just learned a whole lot of stuff in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been buried under reunion arena? Someone buried Mavrello alive? And then he dug himself out with concession stand sporks. So we're now littering, and he's digging himself out. What is happening with Mavrello? I'm so confused by all this. Do kids actually like this? He's like an old prospector that's been buried alive for decades. Like, does he know what phones are? Does he know what cell phones are? Does he know what the internet? You know what I mean?
Does he have a Wikipedia page? I haven't even looked that up yet.
Oh, does Mavrello have a Wikipedia page? Definitely something we need to look up. I looked on on Instagram. Somebody already has Mavrello, and it's like some kid from somewhere. I don't think he has a Wikipedia page yet.
Yeah, former owner. But
he owned the Mavs before.
That's what his story is.
So is this
For Don Carter?
Yeah, is this the representation of Don Carter? Is this before Don Carter? Is this Ross Perot? Like, what is going on here?
I think if you finish the video, it actually has like Mark Cuban like talking to him in it, but
trying to figure out if he anyway, we don't have to get into it. Anybody have any takes on Mavrello? Is this just for kids? Are we all already too old to understand this?
Probably.
Yeah. No more comments on Mavrello for me.
Nobody else has. I'm fascinated by Mavrello, but nobody else does. Any other fiery like Mavs takes or takes that you guys want to bring up on the show? We'll end it here. Or questions. Let's do questions or fiery takes. Either one. And it's up for grabs for anybody.
Nate Hinton is the best thing to ever happen to the Mavs. Just
Nate
saying.
hitting on the bench is an absolute joy. Just anytime you watch the Mavs, just watch Nate hitting on the bench. He's always there. He's always getting up. He's ready for every three to go down. He's ready for every fast break to turn into the biggest dunk ever. I tweeted out a GIF of him today after I think it was a Luka shot, and you can just see him because they zoom into the rim, and you can just see him on the bench get up and just get real excited. And he's just absolutely incredible. It was great to see him get in the game. He actually scored 8 points in this one, so it was cool to see him actually get in and score. This is why I think he's going to be incredible at Summer League, because when he gets in, anytime he scores. But yeah, Nate hitting Hive, get up. This is a good time for him.
So I go to UH, and that's where he went to school. And
yeah,
it's such a stark contrast between, I watched him last year. I was a freshman, and I went to every home game, and he was this high energy guy as well in college, but he was all business. He was super serious, and then he gets to the league, and he's just this fun loving guy that's just waving towels all over the place, and you love to see it.
There is a level of, well, he had to prove something last year, and this year I guess he still does have stuff to prove, but at least he's in the league. At least he, and he's probably not going to play most nights, right? And he knows that, so he's just going to go out there and, kind of no pressure if you're out there, if you're just sitting on the bench, right? You're basically attending an NBA game, essentially. Any other thoughts on anyone else on this team? I need more Bay. I love Tyler Bay. I'm on Bay watch always, and I want to see Tyler Bay play more. He only got into 2 minutes of this game, and he had a block and he had a putback, and I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to see more Tyler Bay.
Heck yes.
All the rookies, all of them.
We still don't know what's going on with Tyrell Terry. That's been kind of a really strange one. He's another guy too. If they do get a Summer League, Patrick, like Tyrell Terry will tearing up Summer League.
Yeah, I hope all as well.
I think all the rookies, like Matthew said, are so much fun to watch. Just all the energy they bring,
and it's just so different. It's so refreshing, like a change of pace to see those guys instead of like, all right, here we go. Here's Jalen Brunson driving in the lane again.
Yeah.
I have a theory on why everyone loves watching the rookies so much, and it's because we're only seeing them this year when we're up by 30. Like everyone's in a good mood when they're seeing these rookies come in. We're not losing to the Kings when the rookies are coming in. It's like, we're beating the Cavs by 64, and here comes Tyler Bay.
Because even when they're down like 30, they still keep their guys in. All right, I'll open it up. Any questions? Stuff you want to get off your chest?
Should I name my kid Luka?
Everyone should name their kids Luka. Apparently, that's the thing to do.
My dog's actually named Luka.
You got a dog named Luka? I feel like I've seen more dogs named Luka.
That was before. That was a premonition I had.
How long ago before?
Let's see. I've had him for 4 years. So.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah, I already had him. Named him.
Okay. Do you have another dog?
Yes.
What's the other dog's name?
Dirk. No, it's Benny.
What is it?
Benny.
Benny.
So maybe a future Mav.
I'm blanking.
Yeah.
Benny Avdia? He changes his name?
Oh!
Nothing
I got one. Benny Simmons. Oh, the premonition is it? If we're going off of Patrick's dog's names, he named his dog Luka 2 years before the Mavericks got Luka. Now he has a dog named Ben Simmons. I'm in.
Yeah.
Or Ben McLemore. It's probably going to be Ben McLemore.
Hey, that's a good passer to put next to Luka, right? I mean,
that would be so weird. Ben Simmons and Luka together. I mean, the defense obviously from Ben Simmons would be great, but it would be like a souped up Josh Green, right? Basically, like the highest version of what Josh Green could ever be is Ben Simmons. And Josh Green will actually take threes at least, but wild. So there you go. All right, that's enough for the pod today, guys. We appreciate you joining me, and guys, everybody listening, thank you so much for subscribing to the pod. We'll be back on Monday with more. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out.
Boom.
Peace out.
Boom.
Oh.